This is a second video of examples of animating compound shapes, that is, objects made of 3 or more of the shape functions that we have learned that make up recognizable objects. And the reason we're learning this is it's important to learn to animate them with just one variable for efficiency, as opposed to making a lot of variables that have the same relationship and are changing at the same rate. So in the last example, I made a horizontally moving shape. This one I'm going to make a vertically moving shape. In this tutorial, I also am going to make a couple of mistakes so you can see some ways of troubleshooting things you might commonly do. So first, I'm going to put in my size function here in setup. Then down here in draw, I'm going to put my background. Here, I'll indent a little bit. Background 255, that's white. And let's see. Now next, I'm going to put in no stroke. I like no stroke for my shape, and I think I'm going to make a balloon. Balloons are, so I'm going to make a balloon, so I'm going to make it blue, no red, no green, max value for blue, and then I'm going to make an ellipse, and I'm going to center on the screen 250, 250, and I'm going to have it be, let's say, 100 by 100. See how that looks. Syntax error, maybe a missing semicolon. It looks like one of my functions is missing a semicolon. I've got one here and here and here and here. Oh, there it is. Just go in and put in your semicolon. Great. Okay, so my balloon is maybe not, maybe I'm looking at it now and thinking my balloon probably should be a little narrower than it is. Instead of being a circle, I want it to be more of an ellipse. So I want to go back in. This is the x value, this is the y value, this is the width. So I'm going to make this a little smaller. I'm going to say 75. Let's see how that looks. Better, more balloon-like for sure. Okay, and now I'm going to add a line. So I'm going to make my line from, let's see, I want it from the bottom of the balloon. So the balloon is, oh no, unexpected token. That's right, I didn't finish this function. So I'm going to comment it out so I can play and look at my balloon again when I'm making my calculations. So let's see, if this is 250 and the height of this ellipse is 100, then the radius is 50. So this point down here must be 300. So I want my line to start at, that will have a y value of 300. The x value is going to be the same as the balloon because I want it centered here. So I'm going to put in 250, again, the same x value, the same distance across, so it's centered. And then 300, because the radius of this balloon, half the height of the balloon is 50, and if the y value is a 250, 250 plus 50, which is the half, gets me down here to 300. Then, since I want it to be a vertical line, I want that x value to be the same amount over, and then I need it to be even bigger than 300. So down here, so maybe let's say, I don't know, 400. Now I'm going to play. My line has not shown up. Now, the default color of a line or of a stroke is black. It should be there. But I used a no stroke before, so that means that the stroke is turned off. So I need to use the stroke function, which is the color of the line, black, and maybe even I'll make it a little thicker with stroke weight. So my line will show up. There it is. Now I've got a balloon, and then maybe I'll add that other little, if you've tied off the end of the line. So I want this point to be the same. So for my next line, I'm going to be the same thing. Line 250, 300, that same point, but now it needs to be a little diagonal, so the x value is going to be a little bit bigger, so maybe let's say 260, and maybe just like 320, and see what that looks like. Oh, that looks great, sure, I'll go with that. Okay, so now let's make this balloon move up. So I know I'm going to need a variable for the y value of my shape objects, so let's just call it y. So this is going to be, I'm going to sub this in for wherever there is a parameter that has to do with a y location. So now, let's see, I'm going to have y. I want it to have the same starting value as my first shape. So that is 250 here in the ellipse. So I'm going to start it at 250. And now here I'll sub in y. and say y equals, and let's have this balloon traveling up, y minus, oh, let's say 2. We'll go a little bit faster. So now, there goes the balloon, but its string stays in the same place. So now I need to go back in and sub in an algebraic expression for using y to represent the y values in line. So here I've got y, so I'm going to put y. If y is 250, 300 would be y plus 50. Again, if y is 250, 300 would be y plus 50. 250 plus 50 is 300. Oh my goodness, what has happened? Now, while that's a very cool effect, it's not what I intended. That's because the line function has 2 y parameters, because the parameters of a line go from its x comma y of the starting point to x comma y of the ending point. So these two values are not a width or a height like in the rect or ellipse functions. These are endpoints. So I need to use an algebraic expression using y here too. So again, if y is 250, 400 is y plus 150. And 320, if y is 250, then 320 is y plus 70, I hope, I think. Let's see. Yep, and there it goes.